This is section 213. We're going to take a look at parallel and perpendicular lines. So in this lesson, we're going to be able to find the parallel and perpendicular equations from another equation and a point. Oftentimes, we see that two lines have the exact same rate of change. In these cases, we say that the lines are parallel. So by definition, two lines are parallel if and only if their slopes are equal. So that means your given slope equals, and we use this symbol, your parallel slope. There's another special relationship between two slopes that we should also know. By definition, two non-vertical lines are perpendicular if and only if their slopes are negative reciprocals to one another. So two things. You change the sign, you flip the fraction. That's what negative reciprocal means. So in this instance, it says determine the perpendicular slope of the equation. So my slope is going to be negative 2 over 7. And so my perpendicular slope, negative, change the sign, reciprocal, flip it, you get 7 over 2. And then this is the symbol that we use to indicate perpendicular slope. So let's look at an example here. It says find the equation of the line in point slope form passing through this point and parallel to the line y minus 4 equals negative 5 times x plus 9. Now we said to create an equation of the line, we need two things. We need a point and we need a slope. Well, good thing they give us the point. The point is negative 3, 7. But now I need the slope. And so the slope has to be parallel to the slope in the problem. Well, the slope in the problem is going to be negative 5. Parallel slope means same slope. So the same slope or the parallel slope is also going to be negative 5. And so therefore, now that I have my point and now that I have my slope, now I can create my equation. Y minus y1 equals my slope times x minus x1. Negative, negative is a positive. There's my equation of the line. Now, if it asked us to do it in slope-intercept form or any other form, then we would manipulate it. But we always start with the point-slope form. Now let's look at perpendicular. So it says same thing, find the equation of the line in point-slope form passing through that point and perpendicular to this line. Well, I don't know what the slope is here. So let's get y by itself. Subtract 4x. Divide everything by negative 2. So y equals 2x minus 11 halves. So my slope is 2. Now, the perpendicular slope, remember opposite reciprocal. So if my slope is 2, my perpendicular slope is going to be opposite, so I have to add a negative to it, reciprocal, or negative reciprocal. You add a negative, you flip it. So this is the slope, this is the point. Now I can create my line. Y minus y1 equals my m times x. I switched them. So y minus y1 equals my m times x minus x1. Now let's look at when they're horizontal and vertical lines. So if it's parallel, it's going to be the same slope. So in this instance, if I have y equals 4, that's a horizontal line at 4. So remember, we always said it's y equals the number when it's horizontal. Well, the number for y is 1, so it's going to have to be y equals 1. When it's a vertical line, so subtract 3 on both sides, and I get x equals 8. Well, that's a vertical line at 8. Okay, so it has to be the same slope, so it's also going to be vertical. And so to draw a vertical one, it's always x equals the number. And so we're going to use the x value there, so x equals 0. Now perpendicular, same idea, it's just it flips. So y equals 4, that's a horizontal line, but perpendicular means that it becomes a vertical line. Vertical line, x equals the number, so x equals 5. Same thing here. You're going to get x equals 8. That's a vertical. Perpendicular makes it horizontal. Horizontal is y equals the number, so therefore y equals 1. So closing today's lesson, we talked about perpendicular and parallel lines and how to create the equations. So how do we find the perpendicular slope? Opposite reciprocal, negative reciprocal. So if my slope is 5, you add a negative to it, and you flip it. And that's going to be your perpendicular slope. And how do you find the parallel slope? It's the same slope. So if your slope is negative 12, the parallel slope is also going to be negative 12. This does conclude our lesson. If you have any other questions, please leave them in the comments.